Sound of Freedom has been in theaters for over 2 weeks now, and it seems like each and every day there's a new attack from either the mainstream media or establishment woke Hollywood, because it's no secret at this point, Hollywood did not want this movie coming out. This is a movie that's based on a true story about the horrors of child trafficking. It's getting rave reviews, and now it's doing incredible things at the box office, but it was rejected by Disney. It was rejected by Netflix and Amazon. They had to get it out themselves, and once they did, the sky was the limit. Look at this. Jim Caviezel's faith-based thriller Sound of Freedom crosses $100 million at the box office. We saw in its debut it beat Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, had a really great weekend, and in its second weekend was number 2 in the box office, just behind Mission Impossible. Well, now Sound of Freedom has accomplished one more impossible feat, and that's beating Mission Impossible at the box office. Look at this. This is wild. A lot of people have been following this, and it's pretty stunning, the pace that this thing has, the momentum that this thing has. And there's no doubt it has hurt Mission Impossible at this point. It's hurt its sales. And when you look at that movie, I think there is now reason to be concerned over this week of tracking that's fallen significantly behind Fallout domestically. There is reason to be worried. But Sound of Freedom, there's no reason to worry at all. Sound of Freedom really said, I do my own stunts too at the US box office, crossing the $100 million mark and kicking Mission Impossible out of number 1, grossing $4.8 million on its third Wednesday. Again, up 9% from its second Wednesday. Angel Studios hits $101 million in the United States. It will beat The Flash and Scream 6 on Friday, eyeing a $150 to $200 million US run. This is a movie that had a total budget of $14 million. It had almost no marketing. They are spreading the word through word of mouth. And now it's taken down Mission Impossible at the box office. They've done the impossible. Early estimates have Sound of Freedom beating Mission Impossible $4.8 million to $4.6 million. And that's despite all these attacks out there. Like I said, each and every day, there's a new angle. They're pushing harder. The mainstream is trying to bury this. Jim Caviezel even talked about this. Sound of Freedom actor Jim Caviezel calls out media attacks on the hit film. They're quaking in their boots. We're being shafted by the mainstream media. But it's almost like some of these attacks have had the opposite effect. We're living in an era now where if the mainstream media is all kind of saying the same thing and turning on something, it's going to make a lot of people wonder why exactly that is and what's going on and be inherently distrustful. And that's kind of what we've seen. The word of mouth has been fantastic for this, especially when you see the people that are attacking it are degenerates like this. Bloomberg writer Noah Berlatsky, who attacked Sound of Freedom, gets exposed as pro-pedo activist. These are the people that are telling you, you don't have to worry about child trafficking. The people who literally advocate for child sex workers. People like this. I did a whole video about that. This guy's a disgusting lunatic. But this is wild. The fact that Sound of Freedom not only has hit $100 million at the box office, but has beaten Mission Impossible, that's crazy. And I really like Mission Impossible. I think it's a really good movie. I think it's undeniable. I didn't think Sound of Freedom had that big of an impact on its box office. I think it's undeniable that it's eating at least a chunk. I'm not saying that's the only reason Mission Impossible is having a little bit of a struggle domestically, but you have to acknowledge this is having an impact. It beat Mission Impossible on Wednesday. And it's at $100 million now domestically, about to pass The Flash's entire domestic run. That's how much impact this movie has had. And at this point, the sky is the limit. Hollywood didn't want you to see this movie. The mainstream media didn't want you to see this movie. Well, unfortunately for them, the people are speaking for themselves. They're spreading the word themselves, and people are flocking and supporting Sound of Freedom in droves. Let me know what you think about all this in the comment section below. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.